Okay, well, it's just that it's kind of what's hounded us this year is close, but can't find a way to get the win. And I really appreciate the way these kids fight. It'd be really easy for them to give in a little bit, and they won't. They refuse to give in, and so I respect the heck out of that. As long as we're fighting, and then we're searching for answers through the week as a staff, as players, as how we can get better in terms of our execution or putting players in a position to make plays, we're going to have a breakthrough. If you don't do those things, you got no shot. So, that's what we have to build upon. And I think when you go through tough times like this and you're building a solid foundation of toughness and resilience and fight when you're 1-7, that at the end of the day, it pays off big time for you because you improve your skill set, you improve your talent, you improve as a coach, you improve your ability to execute and understand the scheme, and all of a sudden you've got that foundation of toughness and resilience and never give up, and you build skill and understanding and better scheme and putting your players in better position on top of that, and you become pretty forceful. So, but it's still terribly disappointing, obviously, because you don't come here to come close. You don't come here to fight hard and lose. You come here to win. And so, all those things I just said, great, but at the end of the day, it's about winning a football game, and so that's where the disappointment comes in. But we have to move past that, and get ready for another pretty tough test this week. I guess if the hardest call for me in the game was, well, first of all, the hardest call for me in the game was at 6:44 with 3 timeouts, kicking that field goal. My thought was if we can get within 4, we'd have had 3 timeouts with 6 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock, and we'd been playing really good defense in the second half, and we had the wind. And you get a stop and a touchdown wins it. You don't want to go into overtime. We felt like we had the win. It felt like no way could kick it through. But I put him in a tough spot by asking him to do that. But that was a thought process, and I'd do it the same. Again, I wasn't going to go for it on 4th and 9. You don't get that, and the game's essentially over. And so that was the decision there. If anyone's curious.
Your defense officers asked to do a lot because they were on the field a lot. Did that kind of contribute to some of the 3rd and 4th down conversions of BC just being on the field a long time?
Yeah, that, and BC is a very physical football team. They're a different looking team than they were last year when we played them. I mean, if you look at the players on their team, last year they looked pretty ordinary. And this isn't a cut to them. I mean, this is a compliment to what they've been able to do really quickly and populating their roster with really good players. I mean, they're big and they're physical and they're fast and they're tenacious and they're violent, and they look like a big-time football team, and they're playing like a big-time football team. I think there's 2 parts to not getting off the field. Is number 1, get a stop and get off the field, and number 2, your offense has to help you. I look at this right here. And I think these are the final stats, and they're quickie stats, so I'm not sure if it's true, but we had 43 plays on offense. Now, that is a combination of us not getting off the field on defense, and also a combination of us, being 4 for 10 on 3rd down and 0 for 1 on 4th down, and rushing for 92 yards and throwing for 130. I mean, that's not very good. So, but like I said, it's us getting off the field on defense, giving the offense more opportunities, and it's the offense having to do a better job of converting and staying on the field so the defense can stay off the field. It's team football, and that didn't happen today.
Jim, I know you didn't want to go for it on 4th and 7 at that point, or 4th and 9. Was punting part of your thought process there? Maybe try to pin him?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, but I was. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that was a hard call because I was confident that we'd make the kick with the wind. We had the wind. We have a kicker that's made those kicks, and yeah. I mean, you can I'll second guess it forever, but I think knowing what I know, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have kicked it and pinned them like we did against Utah State, with 3 timeouts and try to get the ball back. But felt like we could make the field goal, get within 4, and have a chance to go win the game. So looking back, you know, you wish you'd have made a different decision, but at the time I felt pretty confident in it.
In the third and fourth down defense, what were you seeing there? What was kind of going wrong there? 10 for 16 on third and 3 for 4.
Number one, they're number one, who's dynamic and fast and has shifty and great change of direction, and you know, he was getting loose. I mean, he's the number one running quarterback in NCAA. He had 14 carries for 72 yards. You know, he had a net of 45, but that's taken away 27. I don't count that. I count the yards he gained. You know, and a lot of those were critical situations. You know, and what makes it hard to defend Boston College with him on third down is that 3rd and 8 or less, they're a huge run team. You know, and that's not typical. Usually you get to 3rd and 3 or more, and teams are going to throw the ball. And when you have a quarterback like that that can keep you off balance and get you to 4th and short, right, and then convert, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, they went for it 4 times on 4th down, got 3, you know, and so you put it together, they were 13 of 20 on 3rd and 4th down, so that's extending drives, and that's a huge credit to him. And then it's, you know, us not being able to make it 3rd and longer. Although on a couple 3rd and longers, he got it to 4th and short, and they converted. So, you know, we've been decent on 4th down this year, but he was, let's give that kid great credit. I mean, he's a heck of a football player. I think Rob Shadinsky, who they brought in as an analyst, who worked with Cam Newton at Carolina, and is, you know, since game 2, they've transitioned to an offense that runs the football almost exclusively and uses their quarterback to run. As I said, he's the leading rusher in Division I football at the quarterback position, and they've just done a great job of causing fits. I think it's one of the reasons that they've, you know, improved so much as a football team.
If I had told you at noon BC would get 21 points, would you have liked your chances?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, in this day and age in college football, if you hold a team to 21, you should win. But there's different ways they get to 21. Sometimes when you get to 21 and they hog the ball and you can't get off the field, that's a little bit different, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, listen, there's a lot of things that impacted that game. I think, you know, not having Victor hurt us. I don't think we weren't efficient in the past game. We had drops again. You know, we had some misfires. They covered some things up. They had the ball for 40 minutes and 44 seconds. We had it for 19 minutes and 16 seconds. You don't win many games when that's the time of possession. You know, even though we were in takeaways, I think we were +2, right? Were we +2? Yeah. Yeah, I think we were +2. So, you know, our guys will fight, and we got a hell of a challenge this week, as everybody knows. And I expect us to come back with just a renewed focus and a recommitment, like you do every week. Whether you win or you lose, you come back with the same mindset, and that's to fix the things that didn't go well and improve on the things that you need to improve on, and then go fight your butt off again in the next game, regardless of who you're playing. And that's what you try to build in these men, because that's what it's all about.
Was Victor close to playing, or just decided to wait one more week?
No, he was close. We put him through pregame warm-up full speed, but it didn't look like he was going to be able to protect himself. And I don't think it's fair to put a kid on the field, especially at that position, that he can't protect himself, you know, leaves him vulnerable to further injury, and so, you know, the decision was made that he wasn't ready. You know, we thought about using him in protection, but you can't do that. You know, you either got to play or you don't play, and he wasn't ready to play. So Cam, you know, Cam's a warrior. I mean, he had that one call back because of holding. Otherwise, he's probably over 100 yards. He just, you know, at one point he was out. At one point, Bob Howard came over to me and said, you know, Cam's down, he's out. I'm like, okay. So Jalen's in, you know, or we can put Jelani back there, but we're running short there. And I know Victor will work his tail off this week with Bob and our athletic training staff. I mean, they got close this week, so I think he'll be ready to go next week.
You said you wanted this week to be a sort of a way to measure where your team is, you know, against the middle of the pack ACC team. After the game, you know, what are your immediate thoughts on where you measure up?
We're getting closer. You know, we have a ways to go, but we're getting closer. And like I said, as long as you're fighting, as long as we're developing that character and that resilience and that will, you know, we can go out and continue to recruit and you know, use the portal and upgrade, you know, at positions where we need to. As long as we're, you know, doing all we can as coaches to try to put these guys in the right position and then teach them what to do when they're in the right position and concentrating on fundamentals, we'll close the gap. You know, we've played, is it 3 ACC teams now? North Carolina State, Duke, and BC. And they're all 3 really good teams in my opinion, and we played 2 of them tooth and nail. You know, Duke got the best of us, but NC State and these guys, we fought them. You know, now losing's not, we're not here to come close and lose. We're here to win, but we're closing the gap. We're closing the gap. We just got to close it faster, and we got to get a win.
You kind of hit on it, but what is your message to your players? What do you want them to get out of these next few games?
I want to win, number one, and that's always the message: win, but do what's necessary to win. So it's maintaining the mindset that they've got right now, which is toughness, resilience, fight, hunger, you know, staying together, not pointing the finger at anybody but yourself, figuring it out. How can I be better every moment, every day? That's what I want to see. You know, that's what I want to see. That I want to see us to execute better, right? And that's always what you do. You got it. Number one, coach's responsibility to put them in the right position, okay, and drill it. And then they've got to find a way to, you know, through the drills and practice, through watching film, through talking to their coaches, through improving, you know, every day to execute at a higher level. When you're playing a good team like this, where their players are really damn good, I mean, it's going to test you. You know, you say execute. Well, I'm trying to execute. You know, you want me in that A gap. Well, this guy's quicker than me. I'm trying to get in the freaking A gap. You know, but you don't want a guy to just take the easy road and try to arm over. And I don't know if that makes sense. I want to see him fight. You know, and I'm seeing them fight. And as long as they're fighting, we got a chance. You quit fighting, you got no chance. You keep fighting, you always got a chance. Give in, over. We're not giving in.
Thanks,
All right.
Coach.